7 car features that we no longer see. As technology progresses, new features arrive and old ones leave, often faster than we can keep track of. Before we know it, the thing we used on a daily basis is gone. Here are 7 automotive features that got thrown on the scrap heap. Number 1. Bench seats. The most recent American production car to offer a bench seat in the front was the Chevy Impala, which, believe it or not, Chevrolet only stopped making in 2015, just 2 years ago. For most vehicles, the bench seat was phased out during the dawn of the seatbelt, as to fit a belt on a bench seat was an awkward affair. Back before seatbelts were even included in cars, much less mandatory to wear, 3 passengers could fit comfortably in the front of most cars, or possibly 4 if one was a child. These days, doing that is highly illegal in most developed countries, although a lot of third world countries still do it. In the event of an accident, the bench seat is a disaster, offering the occupant very little support, and the chairs often folded in on themselves. Number 2. Tail fins. Cars designed inspired by planes seem to be a bit dated these days, but it was once all the rage. Saab sold themselves pretty much on the fact that they made fighter jets in their spare time, but I can't honestly think of any examples like that these days. In the past century, however, it was all the rage, especially tail fins. General Motors design chief Harley Earl is thought to have been the brainchild of tail fins, making the 1942 Cadillac Series 62 sedan feature them, inspired by the famous World War II plane, the Lockheed P-38 Lightning. 5 years or so later, most people had had enough of the war style, with fins becoming more and more space-age instead. Tail fins became larger and larger, leading to some really bizarre vehicles, until they fell out of fashion in the 60s. In 2017, I couldn't find any examples of cars that still have them, although the Cadillac XTS from 2012 does hark back to the design somewhat. Number 3. Antennas. Seriously, when was the last time you saw a modern car with a folding antenna? It seems to be something to be proud of, the longer the antenna, the better. Pioneered mainly with Japanese brands obsessed with technology on cars, having an electric folding antenna on a car demonstrated how high-tech you really were. Nowadays, cars still have antennas, but they look completely different, often embedded into car windscreens or routed to the back of the car through a shark fin or bee sting type aerial, which the sat-nav can use too. To be honest, it's not much of a great loss having these things gone. Most of the automatic telescoping antennas made an awful noise when you turned your radio on, and just caused extra drag when driving. Still, it was fun to see them go up and down on their own. Number 4. Split front windscreens. The split windscreen was thought to have been made for cost reasons due to the fact that it's cheaper and easier to make a split windscreen than one piece of glass. General Motors introduced this on most of their vehicles in 1936. These days, the split screen has become an iconic must-have item on classic vehicles, notably the VW Camper. Split screens are no longer legal for production, and even if they were, glass manufacturing technology has come on a long way. Number 5. Full-size spare tires. Although some cars still have this feature, the majority of normal road-going vehicles don't bother any longer. The point of the full-size spare was that you could put it on, stow the flat tire in your trunk and carry on driving for as long as you want, unlike spares of today which are designed to be used for limited distances at speeds under 50 miles per hour. Most, being forgetful or lazy, didn't quite do this correctly though, leaving on their spare for months or even years without replacing it. That being until they get their next puncture and realize they've got a flat tire in the boot. Still, it tends to be tough or off-road type vehicles which have these, mainly due to the wear and tear that a 4x4 could experience on the trails. Number 6. Fender mirrors. Fender mirrors are actually a cool idea, allowing drivers to keep their eyes looking forward on the road when driving. There are a few issues with this design, however, such as the lack of adjustment when moving, or the large viewing distance from the eyes of the driver. This feature was especially popular with Japanese automakers, such as Honda and Datsun until the late 1970s, when a side mirror became more suitable. Passenger cars only required one mirror on the passenger side, until new legislation came in 1986 that said cars must have 2. It would be interesting to see a modern car with these mirrors though, perhaps electronically controlled for easy adjustment, although slightly pointless. Number 7. Steel wheels. Alloy wheels might be normal today, however in the year 2000 it was still seen as somewhat of a luxury. On today's vehicles, alloy wheels are featured on all but the cheapest of cars, with a lot of mid-range cars throwing out the steel wheel option altogether. Many Audi and BMW vehicles don't bother with them, although they are still popular with business fleet vehicles in poverty spec. Steel wheels with hubcaps were standard issue until the early 90s, as alloy wheels were an attractive but expensive option during that time. Today, lightweight alloy wheels help boost fuel economy, and most people are happy to pay for an improved appearance. The one thing that can be said for Steelies is that if you bend one, replacing a set will cost no more than a good night out. Which features did I forget? Do you have any of these features on your car? Let me know in the comments. Remember, I try to reply to everyone in the first few days at least. Thanks for watching. Cheers!
BMW Vision Next 100. Like most future cars, the Vision Next 100 concept offers two driving modes, fully autonomous and an optional normal mode, respectively called Ease and Boost. Each mode has its own interior schemes and layout and will change accordingly. Full technical details are not yet available, but it's safe to assume that the propulsion system is going to involve electricity and zero emission. In Ease mode, the car is completely self-driving, the steering wheel is hidden away, and the chairs swivel to a certain degree, allowing the driver to just relax and enjoy the ride. On the other hand, Boost mode changes everything from the interior to car characteristics. BMW says the car transforms into an ultimate driving machine, where the driver controls the speed and direction using augmented reality. The car displays the steering points and ideal racing lines. From the outside, the car looks like something taken straight from a sci-fi film, with plenty of lights and almost no visible wheels. The kidney grille is still there, but the car doesn't actually need it for air intake. The grille has been repurposed to house all the sensors required for autonomous driving. Mercedes-Benz Vision AVTR. With oval-shaped doors and bulging wheels that can light up different colors, the Mercedes-Benz Vision AVTR looks like a vicious beast from a future world. Mercedes wants you to think that the car has an animalistic vibe all around. Light strip goes the entire length of the vehicle, much like a neural network of a living being. On the rear part of the roof, it has 33 moving panels to resemble some sort of reptilian scales. In the propulsion system department, the AVTR comes with a 110 kilowatt-hour battery capacity to provide 700 kilometers of range on a single charge. The most impressive thing, however, is the technology within. Deep inside the vehicle system lies a technology called the brain-computer interface that actually works by identifying what you're thinking of at any given moment in the driver's seat. When you put the wearable electrode on the back of your head, the system can record and measure brain activity to determine car behavior. For example, how fast and what direction it should go, among other functions. Both the front and rear axles can rotate in the same or opposite direction, meaning the car can go sideways at a 30-degree angle. Rolls-Royce Vision Next 100. With the shimmering silver-green color and oversized fenders, the Rolls-Royce Vision Next 100 looks otherworldly. Most Rolls-Royce production cars throughout the history of the company have always pushed the boundary of what a luxury car should be. Now that BMW has given them the chance to build a concept car, the result is a breathtaking combination of future technologies and old-fashioned lavishness. The silhouette is still pretty much a Rolls-Royce. It has the signature vertical grille, long hood, massive wheels, suicide doors, and of course the spirit of ecstasy. As massive as it looks, the concept is only 5,900 millimeters long, or 184 millimeters shorter than the Phantom extended wheelbase. Bear in mind, however, that the prototype is not a four-door sedan. It provides seating for just two on a front-facing sofa bench positioned at the rear of the fancy cabin. Mounted on its modern carbon fiber structure is a range of old-school luxuries like hand-woven wool carpet, real wood, and silk chair. The autonomous car is all-electric powered by two 250-kilowatt motors, one in the back and another at the rear. It has no pedals, steering wheel, or any other mechanical linkage under that long hood. Audi Skysphere. The first thing you notice about the Audi Skysphere is the big, imposing footprint along with the menacing combination of black and gray. Starting with the engine, the Audi Skysphere is of course electric. The motor is mounted between the rear wheels, and unlike the all-wheel drive Quattro, it doesn't send power to the front. It also must be a massive motor as it generates 623 horsepower and 750 newton-meters of torque, enough to send the car from complete standstill to 60 miles per hour in just 4 seconds. Sophisticated mechanism allows the wheelbase and exterior of the car to extend by 250 millimeters and ground clearance by 10 millimeters. Audi calls this the Grand Touring mode, in which the Skysphere turns into a Level 4 autonomous vehicle. The steering wheel folds as the pedals disappear into the underside of the dashboard. The interior is minimalist, yet it features a full dashboard screen and some more touchscreens for armrests. The hood stretches as far as the horizon, despite having no engine inside. Since a conventional grille is no longer necessary for air intake, Audi has replaced it with a bunch of LED lights that illuminate in accordance to driving mode and what the car is doing, such as turning or unlocking. Mercedes-Benz F015 Luxury in Motion. First seen at CES Las Vegas in 2015, the F018 Luxury in Motion is, according to Mercedes-Benz, not a concept car, but a research vehicle. The rather odd-looking body is made from a combination of steel, aluminum, and high-strength carbon fiber. Unlike most four-door sedans, the F015 doesn't have a B-pillar, so all four people have easier access to the interior and enjoy more spacious room inside. Getting in is also easier thanks to suicide doors. Running on pure electric power and hydrogen fuel cell, the car can theoretically cover 560 miles before you have to recharge and refuel, especially if you let the car drive itself and use the recommended setting. When you do that, the steering wheel collapses into the dashboard. The front seats can slide and swivel all around, so everybody talks to each other in a face-to-face situation. Multimedia screens, all 5 of them, appear in the most unusual spots, including the rear wall and each of the 4 doors. Audi Icon. From a design perspective, the concept Audi Icon doesn't seem to sway away too far from the traditional shape of a performance car. It looks menacing, aerodynamic, and fast even when sitting still. It has 26-inch wheels under flared fenders and low riding position like a sports car. At 5.4 meters long, the Icon is a little bit longer than a long wheelbase A8. Audi maximizes the additional space to give a major overhaul to the interior. The car does away with traditional steering wheel or dashboard and instead takes advantage of the spacious room to provide 2 front seats that swivel and slide and a small rear bench. 2 electric motors produce a total of 350 horsepower and will last for about 500 miles before you have to recharge the battery. To give you more comfort all along the journey, the Icon comes with air suspension and 4-wheel steering, just in case you have to take a small alley for a shortcut in a crowded city. The onboard computer, referred to as PIA, can recognize passengers by their phones and adjust vehicle settings based on saved preferences such as seating position, ambient lighting, and overall cabin comforts. PIA also responds to voice commands for navigation and multimedia. Mini Vision Next 100. Another Vision Next 100 series to make it to the list is from Mini, which alongside the Rolls-Royce is owned by BMW. Mini's version of the concept car focuses on connected digital intelligence, meaning the driver will be able to call or summon the car from any location, anytime, any day. The car will pick up the driver in the desired spot and automatically adjust all the settings to match the occupant's preferences. Measuring at 3,620 millimeters long, the Vision Next is 270 millimeters shorter than the current Mini hatchback, but 560 millimeters longer than the original model. It offers both manual and autonomous driving. To let the car take control, you only need to slide the steering wheel to the center of the dashboard. There's no detail yet about the specification, but most likely it'll use BMW-made electric powertrain. On the inside, the color or ambient lighting, as well as the graphics of the interior, can be changed to suit the occupant's preferences. Mini even provides a customized package to switch the content of the onboard information.